What's up, YouTube? Shawn DaGamer here, and this is going to be a more casual video podcast if you guys are hearing it. Right now I'm still using the Dynex mic. If I'm doing live video for this, I don't know yet. If I want to have the live video, I'm recording it. I don't know if I'm going to use it or if you're just going to hear sound audio. But I am testing the fact that I do want to start branching out a little bit more coming up towards the summer, especially when I get my new mic. It should be happening in a new, maybe if not next week, hopefully in the next few weeks I'll get a new mic, and I want to start diving into expanding the brand, doing more podcasts on maybe like SoundCloud or something like that, wherever I can put this audio on, just to get more traction for the channel and myself, getting the Shawn DaGamer, the SDG brand out there. But like I said, it's going to be more casual, more laid back. So if I stumble or anything, it's going to be all wrestling related today. Hopefully, I might talk about some Riverdale or some Dragon Ball Super. But this is a gamer's log. I think it's like, it's not 10. It might be 10. I'm not sure. But you'll see the number once it's uploaded live. So I am on NoDQ.com right now. I might pull up Cage Site Seats. If you're watching the video, I'll probably just have the video of, whatever I'm doing on the computer up, depending on how the internet acts, because I am, well, don't worry about all that. But the first thing I wanted to talk about is David Otunga's replacement. So right now I'm on NoDQ, like I just said. If you want to follow me on everything, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, all linked down below. Their PayPal is still down there as well. I think they just sent me a card for my PayPal too, because I lost my old one. But I just wanted to talk to you guys for a few minutes. It's going to be random thoughts as soon as this pulls up. But if you're looking at the video, if I have it up, you'll see that David Otunga's replacement for the next few weeks will be Booker T himself, Mr. Shucky Ducky, Quack. And I hope for the next 6 weeks that Booker T can bring some type of excitement to the Raw brand, because I like Booker T as an announcer. When he was on SmackDown, I loved it. It was so fun, so interesting. Booker T brought a lot of experience. He has his own school down in Texas, I believe. Houston, Texas to be exact, if I'm not mistaken. That's where people like Amber Moon is from. So if you want to see some old Amber Moon stuff before she was in NXT WWE, go look at Booker T's promotion. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Let's look it up. But Booker T on the Raw brand is going to be very, very fun for the next 6 weeks. Booker T is a wrestling school. Did I spell that right? Yeah, Booker T's wrestling school, but a lot of people have come from there. The Dudleys have their own training school as well. So I really enjoy Booker T on SmackDown. Mr. Shucky Ducky Quack himself. He always brought some fun insight. He didn't, like, we're going to talk about this a little bit too, because I do want to give my thoughts on the whole Maruo Ronaldo situation and JBL. That's because I think Reality of Wrestling, the flagship of Texas Wrestling. So I believe that's the name of his school, Reality of Wrestling. So if you guys want to start your training, if you're in the Texas area, or see how people get their start in wrestling, Reality of Wrestling is where that is located, and it is in Houston, Texas, just like I thought it was. So be on the lookout for that. Booker T. I always love Booker T. Ever since I saw the Best of 5 series with him and John Cena, I thought that was really, really good. I think John Cena won that series. It was like, was it Best of 5 or Best of 7? They do Best of 7. So I believe John Cena won that to become the U.S. champion, or retain the U.S. championship over Booker T. And that's when I started becoming a Booker T fan, the Spinaroonie and all that stuff. So just to see what Booker T can bring to the Raw brand over the next few weeks is going to be very exciting for me. And I hope you guys don't hear all that. People have been doing their lawns for the past few days. That's one reason I haven't been recording, because I don't want you guys to I was looking for this. See, here's a little tip for all you stoners or people who like to smoke out there, who use water pipes, bongs, whatever you want to call them. Whenever I run out of like strings or something like that, I'm on a detox right now. So I'm not going to be smoking for the next couple of weeks until I get me a new place of employment. I like to use my earring backs, the ones that have like the little 2 circles in them, not the little 1 circle one, but these 2 ones. I don't know if you can see that, but if you have an earring in, if you are a male and you have your ears pierced, or you're female, one thing I like to do if I don't have a new screen or something to put in my bowl, I will use my earring backs, put them sideways so the 2 holes are facing up. You can see through the little thing, and it's a good way to keep your product, whatever you're using, whether it's Tabasco, marijuana, or whatever, without losing a lot of product. So that's a quick little tip for you right there. And I just lost it. God darn it. So I tried to put it on the desk and it fell off the desk, so I gotta go in my mother's room and find another bag piece. But not JBL. I keep saying I want to talk about this. So let's talk about that next. Let's talk about that right now. JBL, Maruo, Twitter beef and all of that stuff. Joe Cronin, somebody who I'm trying to get in contact with via Facebook and things like that. Trying to do some collabs and stuff with him. Trying to get my rank up. He tweeted out, JBL, what do you think about all this internet stuff, all this drama? He was like, I play a heel on TV. People seem to understand that. But this whole situation with Ronaldo and WWE, he's under contract until like fall of 2017. People are expecting him back in New Japan or Ring of Honor early next year, because his contract, like I said, does expire this year. Regarding the Ronaldo situation, Dave Meltzer everybody knows who Dave Meltzer is. It's reporting that is working on a settlement to keep all this quiet. Sorry, I don't have a pause button to cover up my muting right now. But what that pretty much means is they're trying to find some type of money or situation agreement where Maruo and Ronaldo won't talk about excuse me again, the things, quote unquote, allegedly JBL has done to him. A lot of people are trying to say fire JBL for his actions, but this is not the first time that we've heard about JBL being a quote unquote bully or anything like that. There are plenty of stories. If you go back to The Miz, if you read Justin Roberts' books, The Miz used to talk about how JBL was the one rallying, like he couldn't use the locker room. He would have to go to like the arena or restroom to change into his ring gear or get ready for his matches or things like that. Back when he was a rookie, back when he came in from the real world. So that's something very interesting. And we all know that Jonathan Coachman is on ESPN, and they're not even really trying to talk about this because of wrestlers like code or anything like that. Hey, we're not going to talk about anything bad going on behind the scenes and things like that. But if you don't know, Maruo Ronaldo, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, because every time I say it, I can feel my tongue like, what are you trying to say? Maruo, I can say that part. Ronaldo, when I say it slow, I can say it. When I say Ronaldo, it's like, did you say that right? But he does suffer from some type of bipolar condition. I don't know if he's on the spectrum or anything like that. I probably got to do a little bit more research. But he does, he's very emotional. And I can understand that. But being bullied is a part of life. And I'm not saying JBL is to blame or Ronaldo needs to man up or anything like that. People experience certain experiences differently. So if Ronaldo felt like he was bullied and things like that, who are we to say that he was wrong and feeling like he was bullied, whether it was from JBL or anybody else? But a lot of people have been making a contrast like, oh, he doesn't bully other people, he doesn't bully Corey Graves, he doesn't bully Byron Saxton and things like that when they're working together. So what is the deal with Maruo Ronaldo? Ronaldo, he didn't come up from WWE, and a lot of people who are older or older school mentality probably think like he's not one of us because he didn't grow up in the system, whether it was WCW, NWA, or WF at the time, or he didn't work his way up through WWE, whether it's through FCW, OVW, NXT, or anything like that. So a lot of people are saying, since he's not a quote unquote WWE original, that's why JBL is kind of like putting him through his paces, to say the least, seeing if he has the tough skin. But there's always a line that needs to be drawn when it comes to people and their comfort in the company that they work, whether it's for the WW. I don't care if you work at Dairy Queen or McDonald's. If you don't feel comfortable working with somebody or under somebody, it's not the situation that you want to be in. You remove yourself from that situation. Am I saying JBL's the fault? No. Am I saying Ronaldo should have manned up? No. There's just a fine line for the both of them, where if somebody suffers from something, because Ronaldo has been doing commentary for years, many years, probably decades. Once I do my research, let's look that up. Let's look up Maruo Ronaldo, and I hope you don't hear me like hitting stuff or trying to position myself correctly on the ball or anything like that. But Maruo Ronaldo commentary history. You gotta know what to type in on the Googles. So Maruo Ronaldo wiki. Let's see how long you've been doing this. Maruo Ronaldo, he's born December 21st, a few days before Christmas. In the late 70s, well, would that be the late 70s or late 60s? 1967, so I think that would be the late 70s. So he's about 40-something years old at this point. It's not 50, but I'm going with 40. That sounds... No, 50. He's about 50-something years old, but he's great at what he does. Excuse me again. I clicked it. Should be loaded. So the fact of the matter is, we live in a very, very PC age. So you have to be very, very careful about what you say. And a lot of people don't agree with that. And I'm one of those people, like, I've been bullied before, and I've always stood up to my bully, whether I've gotten beat up or I fought for my rights. But once a bully sees that you're not afraid of them, I had to say that twice. They either like, okay, I'm gonna break him, or I'm gonna leave this guy alone because he's not afraid to stand up to me. So that was always my situation. Personally, when I was in middle school, we had a bully. I fought him in the middle. I fought him in the middle of the gym, and I didn't go down or anything. But it was kind of a even draw fight. His hits did hurt. I'm rubbing my face right now if you don't see the video. But when I was in middle school, I got into a lot of fights, play fighting and real fights. And they got me kicked out of one middle school, and that's how I ended up where I graduated and things like that. But you always have to know when to stand up to a bully. And maybe in Maruo's case, walking away was the best situation, because maybe if I would have just, hey, like, look, sir, you're not going to bully me and all that stuff. Yada. Maybe that situation would have been differently, but he did, a couple of days later after we got suspended and stuff. Did I get suspended for that? No, but I got into a fight. I was there on Monday and we shook hands. He was like, look, I'm sorry, yada. And he was still kind of a bully, but once I stood up to him, he kind of cooled down and things like that. High school was the same way. It was, if you live in the Latonia area and you graduated, 2008, or if you graduated between 2006 and 2009, you know what I'm talking about. If you live in the Latonia, Georgia area, So I had a lot of those people on my tail. Um, I didn't fight them because they like to jump people, but or at the time they like to jump people, but I was really willing and willing to fight them. But I had, it was like 3 or 4 of us, and it was like 13, 14, maybe 20 of them. They was like, hey, this is not a good situation for you. I know how you feel right now, but this is one of those times you need to back up. And the next day, after they tried to bully me, I didn't even know he was sitting behind me on the school bus, and I just sat in front of him like, oh, you gonna let him try you like that? He's sitting in front of you. Oh, he was like, you know what, whatever. If he got enough guts to, sit in front of me, I ain't gonna mess with him no more. And after that, I don't know if he was on some type of hallucinogen or some type of substance or anything like that. But he's like, whatever. We were kind of cool, but I still want my one-on-one. He snuck me, and if you've ever been snuck before, like I didn't go down or anything. He like bought me. He got me real good. And I was like, you know what? I'm about to whoop his ass. And I looked. Have you ever been in a situation where you had not the person you wanted to fight, but everybody behind him? I was like, let me count my odds real quick. 1-on-2 I can deal with. 1-on-3, that's fine. Even 1-on-4, it's more them of me. So if I can, get my footing right, my foot placement and all that stuff right, doesn't matter. But I looked past him and I was like, this is a fight I can't lose. I got one person who's probably going to fight with me, and then 2 other people who are like probably scared out their pants right now. So, if it was like 4-on-20, that's 5 people apiece. That's fair. In my mind, I personally know, depending on the size and the fighting ability of the competitors, I can at least fight 4 or 5 people at the same time, because that's how it was raised. Like, you never know what's going to happen to you. So we're going to come outside every day for the summer, and we're just going to fight. We're going to be prepared. We're going to be ready for anything that life throws at us. And I miss those days, going outside. Excuse me. Putting the gloves on, just like, just, fighting with your friends, whether it was play fighting, practicing, sparring, shadow boxing, whatever you want to call it, just going outside and practicing every day with your friends, different fighting styles, different fighting techniques, different ways to like counter. That was fun to me, and that's probably one reason I'm find myself in wrestling, find myself loving wrestling, because MMA, boxing, because it's all about, people think fighting is all about the strongest person wins. And I know this is kind of a tangent from what we were originally talking about, but this all goes back to the Ronaldo JBL situation. Sometimes you got to know when to fight your battles and when not to fight your battles, and if you have to fight your battles, what type of strategy do you need to go into a certain situation. So that's why I'm glad about that. That's why I want to step into the ring again, because when you're in a one-on-one, one-on-two situation, when it's you against them, you never know what can happen. And it's exciting. It's exhilarating trying to figure out that perfect balance of like, this is what I can do. How can I use that to beat my opponent? So in this situation, Maruo is like, the best way to win this situation is to step away from it. And that's a very, very adult thing to do about it. He's not going online blasting JBL for like, hey, he did this to me, he did that to me. He just walked away. He's keeping kind of silent, thanking people for the support and all that stuff, but not really, addressing the situation yet. And I think that's the best way to approach a situation, especially once you're under contract with a big company like the WWE. So is JBL wrong? If he was bullying him, yes. If he was actually bullying him, yes, JBL was wrong. But if it was like what do they call it? Locker room check, a locker room test, a locker room, hazing, that's the word I'm looking for, then hazings, you know, go to a certain extent. We've heard about colleges, how they haze people and people end up dying or committing suicide because the hazings were just too much. So I'm glad not JBL, but Maruo is still with us at this point. He didn't commit suicide or anything. He stepped away. I think that's the best thing for that situation. And I think that's where I want to end this point. That's probably where I want to end the video. I don't think I want this to go to a little bit longer than 20-25 minutes or the 20-minute mark. And I gave my ideas and suggestions. I'm so sorry. I wish I had my other mic. If you're watching, if I do actually put the video up, here's one half of my mic. That's the top of it. And let me reach down here. Here's the other half of the mic. And what happened was, if you're watching the video, I had a Samsung Meteor mic. It's a little three stand mic, silver, if you were looking it up. It has one little button and knob in the front, and right under it has Samsung, and right above it, it has a light that shines blue. And it's about, I don't know how much it is now. I got mine like a couple of years ago, but it's a really good mic. I just miss it. I'm going to get a new one whenever I have the funds to, but I miss this mic. Let's see if there's anything else. Maybe one more story we can get into to keep this under 30 minutes. Especially this being a wrestling related. I don't know how they're doing. I know a lot of people say that if you're showing matches or anything wrestling related, that your videos won't get monetized. I'm a younger channel. Yes, I am partnered, but I am a young channel when it comes to YouTube, even though this is my second channel or third channel. But, you know, on this channel I am partnered, and I don't know how that's working. So, a lot of things are happening in the world of WWE. WWE, NXT got a new theme song. NXT got a new theme song. It's really, really good. It's really, really catchy. I like the new feel of the theme song and the new intro and things like that. It's really, really good. I like it a lot. Stephanie McMahon's off TV just to help Seth Rollins, you know, the whole injury thing. Lana going to SmackDown. I don't really know about that. If you haven't heard the interview that Joe Cronin and JD from New York did with the fan who got ejected from SmackDown Live with the JBL Bully Me sign, that is live on Joe Cronin's channel. That is JoeCroninShow.com. I think he is one of my links in the description, as well as some of my favorite YouTubers. So, I think the last big, quote-unquote, big news is that Renee Young and Dean Ambrose did get married. Let's read this story. I don't know when or where, but I thought she was pregnant. The way Kevin Owens was talking about it on Talking Smack, and if you're watching the live video, internet just went out again because my internet isn't the best right now. I am using Xfinity at the moment. It goes in and out. As previously noted, it is public knowledge that Dean Ambrose and Renee Young are a married couple. While they filed for marriage back in October 2016, a ceremony was reportedly just held this past weekend in Las Vegas. It's unknown if there's any heat on Ambrose and Renee Young, but there is speculation about WWE about why put them on separate brands after the ceremony. So, if you haven't noticed, not Dean Ambrose, but Dolph Ziggler has been flirting very hard with Renee Young on Talking Smack. Can I blame him? No. Renee Young is a very attractive woman, so I cannot blame him for that. Them being together is public knowledge. I was thinking maybe like a year or so ago, maybe 2 years. Like, Dean Ambrose got Renee Young. I love Renee Young. I like Dean Ambrose, so I can deal with that. still think that Renee Young should be doing commentary on one of the brands, one of the 3 brands, maybe NXT. You can take off Percy Watson, put Renee Young on NXT, just to give a female voice for commentary, because I think that would be very refreshing in this new era of wrestling, especially when you have the women's tournament coming up. If I could have anybody calling the women's tournament, if I have to make it a 3-person announced booth, it would either be Daniel Bryan or Michael Cole or Corey Graves as a male, and then Renee Young, and then either Lita or Trish Stratus. So I would have a fully female announced booth with one recognizable male. Michael Cole has been around the business for a long time, and despite what he lets off on WWE, I think he is picking up that JR role of looking at different companies, thinking who should come in, who should not come in, who's worthy, who's not worthy. And I think Michael Cole is doing that role pretty well when he's not under the influence of a Vince McMahon or Kevin Dunn or whoever is in his ear on Monday Night Raw, telling him to shout this out or shout this out. So when it comes to the 32 women's tournament that's happening later this summer, my perfect announced team will be Daniel Bryan, Lita, and Renee Young. But I can see them doing Michael Cole, random ex-female wrestler, and maybe Lita, if they're going to throw a 3-person announced booth. With these one-off tournaments, they have been using a 2-person announced booth. So if I had to really pick, if it's a 2-person announced booth calling this women's tournament, it will be Daniel Bryan and Renee Young, because they just click so well on Talking Smack. So I think I want to end this off here. I got a couple of articles out the way. Got my thoughts out on the Arnaldo situation. The only reason I talked about the situation is because I haven't talked about it, and I noticed I'm not blocked by JBL on Twitter yet. So I thought that was really interesting. I'm like, I'm not blocked yet. Well, I haven't really talked about it, so why would I be blocked? And I love JBL. To be completely honest with you, JBL has been one of my favorite WWE personalities for the longest time, ever since he was the longest reigning SmackDown champion in WWE history. If you know me, most of my full-time, not part-time, wrestling knowledge starts after WCW died. You know, once Eddie Guerrero was champion at all and Benoit was champion. Pretty much WrestleMania 19 and up. That is my wrestling full-term knowledge. I did watch wrestling part-time when I was a kid with my uncle, with my aunt, even with my mom sometimes. So all that being said, like I said at the beginning of the video, if you do want to support the channel, I apologize for the burping. Well, I'm going to say PayPal is linked on top of the description. It should be one of the first couple of sentences that you see. Everything else, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch are all linked down in the description below as well. If you're new here, please hit that shiny red subscribe button. Turn it blue. And once you do that, you're going to see a little bell pop up. That's for your notifications. Whenever you're on mobile or you're sitting at your computer and a new video of mine pops up, if you hit that notification bell, you will know, because YouTube is tripping right now. But if you have the notification up and you're not on restricted mode, you will know as soon as I post a new video. So hit that notification as well. Share this video out with your friends so they can get in on the discussion as well. So, you know, let's try to bring this SDG brand up to the top over the next couple of years, because no matter what's going on in my life, this is what I want to do, and that's entertain the masses, whether it's on YouTube, SoundCloud, you know, or whatever platform that we are on. I want to entertain you. Hopefully we'll be on TV one day, or better represented on the interwebs. But hopefully you did all that. Like this video if you like the discussions that I brought to you. If you were ever bullied in the past, leave your comments and things and all that down below. I think this week I'm going to write a letter to JD from New York for his his stories he does on his Off the Script podcast throughout the weekend. There should be a new one up soon on this Saturday, January, February, March, April 15th, 2017. But with all that being said, I am Shawn DaGamer, and I am out of here. Boo doo doo doo. Boo doo doo doo.